Hello, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I will be sharing with you some useful tips that I personally use to get me a distinction in GCSE speech. So let's get started. So why are these topics opinion based? Well, because go on paper 2, question 5, English language, and go on the first rate tutor, she stated that basically you give a statement and then you give 3 reasons to support your statement, and then for one of these reasons you would give a counter argument. Now this is very important as a counter argument expresses your opinions like very strongly, and it's like a lot easier for the examiner to actually see that you have thought process and all of these stuff. So try and do it based on like opinions and stuff. It's really useful. Now a few examples of these like contrary topics are like why dogs are better than cats. For example, should pineapple be on pizza? Basically any topic that expresses your opinion. I know one student in my class, he did it about the things wrong with the AQA English literature curriculum, and it was a magnificent piece, and he definitely got a distinction for that. So try and pick something that's opinion based and you'll find it to be a lot easier. So now, obviously, apart from like writing it like normal, you'll see on the specification, it actually says like distinction, you need to have sophisticated vocabulary. Now that doesn't really mean like you need to like, drop a sophisticated vocabulary there or drop one there. It completely depends, because you want your audience to be engaged with you, unlike like you don't want them to be like, oh, what does that mean? I have no idea. That's not good for your speech. So try and drop a few, like I would say like 1 or 2 sophisticated vocabulary within like 2 paragraphs or something. So basically like 1 per paragraph. Or I highly recommend doing triples, use sophisticated vocabulary. I highly recommend that. Now, moving on, you have wrote your speech, you still haven't like delivered your speech yet. What do you do in the process? So I feel like I highly recommend you to do a PowerPoint, because it helps the audience visualize these things. So I definitely recommend you doing the PowerPoint, but also you need to practice. Like, do not be embarrassed. Practice with your mom and dad, deliver the speech. And I remember that what I did was every night before the speech, I used to like practice my speech like at least 1 time, and that made me just feel a whole lot more confident with like everything, and it just sort of like became second nature to me. Like, try and chill out a bit more. Like, you're just delivering a speech, you're not memorizing something. So yeah. Okay, the most nerve-wracking thing is happening. You're delivering your speech. I personally was jittering up on the stage. I was literally like, hearing your heart pound wasn't an exaggeration. I could literally hear my heart going boom, boom, boom. I was so scared. But a little quick tip that helped me was the first 2 sentences that you read up on the stage is the most important. You can try read it slowly, and by doing so, you can like feel a bit more secure. Also, try look at your best friends if you have them in your same class. They're gonna be really supportive. They could try and like let you smile at them, and you're just looking directly at them, and it's gonna make you feel so much more confident. So yeah, a very useful tip. Now, delivering your speech. Be more confident. How do you be more confident? Number 1, project your voice. That is number 1. Number 2, try and do hand gestures. Do not just stand there like so straight. Try and move your hands, be more interactive, like, oh, look at this PowerPoint that I made, blah, blah, blah. Now, the third, and I feel like the most important thing, is to memorize your speech. Sure, you can do that, but the important thing is not to memorize it. It's to like say it with more natural feeling. What does it mean by having a more natural feeling? If you memorize your speech, do not make it feel like you're sort of like reading it off a paper. Try and be more like interactive. You can have, oh, look at this. Pause. Why is this? Pause, like the audience think. This is because blah, 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 blah. This is actually really important. It's a really important skill for everyone to develop. So I feel like that's some main purpose of the speech. And yeah, how do I say this? Like, do not ever like just try and read it, like just physically read it off your thing, like the writing piece. It doesn't really get you a distinction. It gets you a merit max, and I'll show you some tips. So I'll try and get out my speech. Here we are. Okay, so my speech, I wrote it on a Google Docs, but then I copied it out onto this flashcards. Now, this is why, like, use cue cards. Cue cards, they allow you to like see your audience, like to allow you to have more free body language and more tone, and also more eye contact with your audience. Because imagine like having a full piece of paper, it just blocks the whole of your face. And having flashcards, you know, if you don't want to memorize it, you can just like quickly look down, see where you're at, and then memorize that sentence and just look up. Because I did cue cards and I also got distinction, so relax. Now, I feel like the next thing is what like the people who get passed can get like a merit, the Q&A. Well, my teacher taught me that if you just read it off a script, you could only get a pass. But when it comes to questions, if you are answering it like in more detail, you'll be able to get merit. So my teacher also, she's so helpful. She told us to like get your pals, if you have any in your class, like write a piece of question that they should ask you at the end and just give it to them. So that way, like when it comes to like your actual Q&A stage, they'll just raise your hand and you can just pick on them instead of like being so awkwardly silent. You know what I mean? Like as awkward silent, not a great thing. Also, when it comes to answering the questions, you should also give them more detail. Like try and avoid one-word answers like yes, no, oh yeah, like I don't know, or like these. If you don't know something, you could be like, oh, I'm sorry, I do not know that answer. Could you tell me, please? Or could you give me some hints or something? These are gonna like help you with like a bunch of stuff. So I highly recommend you doing that. Okay, so I've been rambling on for quite some time. Now, if you guys want, I could deliver my speech as well to you guys. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found this video a bit helpful. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.